Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Second trading day of 2025. Hope everybody's doing all right. Just taking a look at the charts here. How was everybody's trading day yesterday? First trading day of the year. Let me know in the comments down below how your day was. What did you guys do? How'd you make out? Positive, negative, break even? Let me know. My day was a break even day. That's a win for me. Nothing wrong with that. Today we're looking to at least make a 2-to-1 trade here. That's my goal for today. Just nice, easy 2-to-1 on this Friday. Let's see what we get here. About 3.5 minutes before market open, and we just squeaked past the high of the day for pre-market anyway. Still looking like a downtrend in the larger time frames, the 4-hour and day chart. So my bias is still bearish. But we'll see. That could change. Overall bias is bearish a little bit still, unless we get a break in the structure here today in the larger charts. Yesterday, slow morning, volatility first thing in the morning, and then later in the day we finally pushed to the downside, which is where my bias was. I missed all of it, so it is what it is. Today's a new day. Let's see what the market brings today. So in the challenge account that I'm in right now, I cannot trade during news. So if I do any trades, they have to be before 10 o'clock this morning, Eastern time. We have ISM PMI coming out at 10 o'clock, which may or may not affect markets. Right now the market's pushing up. So we get a level there. It's a nice 3-to-1. So if I'm gonna take a trade, I gotta make sure I can take a trade that's gonna allow me to get in and out quickly. I can't be in that trade. I have to be out of the trade by 9:58, something like that. I gotta wait until 10:02 to get back into a trade, which, not the greatest of situations or whatever. In this particular account that I chose to do my challenge in, that's the rules, and I get it. They don't want people to blow accounts on news and whatever. So ISM PMI, I'm not expecting it to make big moves today, unless it's like a huge miss or whatever. But what are we looking at? And we're looking for 48.4 on the ISM manufacturing PMI prices, which is the same as the prior. So we're not looking for a move. ISM manufacturing prices, they're expecting it to go up a little bit from previous. So we'll see. And we got ISM manufacturing employment 2. We're expecting 0.1 lower than previous. See what it gives us. All right, market open here. Let's go. It's looking strong so far to the upside. Yeah, that's a nice push up. Coming back up to the same trading zone that we were respecting, I guess, yesterday. So I'm not sure if this is, again, my bias is short at this point. So I don't think that this is going to be a great long setup here unless we continue to move past all of this structure here that we were stuck at yesterday to the left. I typically like to wait for this first 5-minute candle to close before I get in. Sometimes that causes me to miss an entry, but this first 5-minute candle is usually always pretty volatile, so you don't really get a sense of direction. So we got a nice move up here, but again we're being held at the resistance here, which was respected yesterday. We're at the same level here that was respected yesterday around midday, right before we got a flush, right before we moved down. Let's see if I can show you guys. See this level right here. We get a nice sorry, not support, resistance level here. We respected it pretty well yesterday, and we had a nice push down yesterday from it. So let's see. I mean, if we push through, then we can look for a long entry, but the 4-hour chart still looks pretty bearish for me, and so is the day chart. And then what's going to happen is we're going to pick a direction, and I'm not going to be able to get in. Oh, excuse me. Because of that no trading news rule. It is what it is. I don't mind it. You could pick a different account. You could do a swing account with Funder Pro, and you can trade weekends and news or whatever. The leverage is much smaller on those accounts, so you take it for what it is. I'll take the higher leverage here. In this account here, this is just a regular account with them, but they do have those rules where you can't trade certain. It's not all news. It's just news that typically moves the markets. So Yeah, see, we closed below. We closed right at that level. Maybe I'll take a little. So if we don't take this wick out here on this next candle, maybe I'll take a little short scalp. Yeah, there we go. We might be getting rejected there. Definitely getting some resistance here in this area, which makes sense. It's where it was yesterday too. This would be risky, but I could take a little short scalp here. Maybe I'll reduce my position. Risk half of what I normally risk here. It's above the high. Let's make a little 2 to 1. See how this candle closes. Maybe not. What are your New Year's resolutions this year? What are you guys hoping for? What are your plans? What are your goals? What are your trading goals? Also, let me know where you are in your trading journey. Beginner, intermediate. Are you a pro? Are you funded, not funded? Profitable, not profitable? Let me know. Let me know where you guys are at in your journey. For me, I am not profitable yet. Close. I'd say probably break even at this point. And I'm working on becoming funded with this account here through Funder Pro. My goal for this year is obviously to become funded and to become profitable. I'm not looking for any kind of huge profit. I just want to be consistently profitable. That's my goal for this year. I also have a goal to start doing this full time, leave my 9 to 5, if you will. We got a decent push here through this whole area. Yeah, we might be breaking structures. Might be flipping around here. So we're pushing up to the 200-day moving average on the 4-hour. So nothing's changed in the sense that we're still in a downtrend on the 4-hour chart. We're moving to levels where if we break them, then the direction may be changing, but we have not done that yet. So, and I am being super picky with my trades this year. another one of my goals. Follow my strategy, be disciplined in that strategy, and be picky with my trades. Sometimes that means I don't trade in a day, which is fine. A 0 day is better than a negative day. I'll say that every time. Because a 0 day does not make me feel terrible like a negative day is. And even a negative day shouldn't really affect you. As long as you keep your losses small and your profits bigger, you're winning. So, you're going to have negative days. That's a given. The idea is just to minimize them and to minimize the size of your loss. All right, about 11 minutes in. Decent push up. I missed this move. I could have made an entry. I almost did to the long side this morning before market opened, but I have this thing, a fear, if you will, of getting into a trade, within the 10 minute time frame of market open, just because I've been learning how to trade the past 2 years, and the past 2 years have been so volatile, especially in the morning, that I almost have to, now that things are kind of coming around and coming out of the other side, I almost have to retrain myself to not expect this super volatile movements every day in the NASDAQ, Yeah, we get some movement in that first 5-minute candle, which can just be alleviated by giving yourself room with your stop loss and your position size. But it's something I got to work on this year. It's just, I've been watching these charts over the last 2 to 3 years, and more so in the last year, all of 2024, and everything was just really volatile with, any little peep of news or whatever of inflation, this, and, it was an election year, and blah, blah, blah. There was such volatility first thing in the morning that I have this fear now that I have to get over, so that I can make these moves. For instance, this move here, right in this area here, was my buy-in signal to go long. Above the 200-day moving average, we're above this trading volume area here. I didn't see this. I wasn't at my computer yet, but we did get a little retest. And when this closed, above the moving average again, with this nice push, we had a little bump in volume. This should have been my entry again, which really coincides with where my entry could have been in the first place. This happens a lot, actually, when I retest this strategy. If it comes back and retests and, retests and holds, the 2 to 3 candles after the fact gives me another buy-in at the same spot that I would have had. So this is like confirmation here. So I almost got in here, but we were 15 minutes, 20 minutes away from market open. And I'm like, and that's a me problem. I got to get over that, because, if I got in here, my stop loss would have been just below here. We're looking at at least a 3-to-1 already, and we're pushing. I could have gotten out of this trade right about here with a nice 3.5 to 1, been out before the news came out, and I'd be done. already for the day. So this is one of the things that I have to work on this year, is overcoming this fear of first thing in the morning volatility. And when I say volatility, you know, if you look back in the past year, 2024, we're talking like big moves, you know, the little 5 minute candle that never even broke, you know, this level here. This, I believe this, yep, 930. This was your first candle. It never even came down and broke this level. So I could have, after this push up here, I would have moved my stop loss. It would have been in the green already. And I could have just let this ride and moved up along with it, which is how my strategy works. I'm supposed to move my stop loss with the super trend line. So right now, my stop loss would be here, if I, you know, according to my strategy. And the idea is just to ride this out until either I hit my goal for the day, or if we're really pushing, I just keep moving my stop loss up with the super trend until it gets taken out. It's a pretty simple strategy. It works. It's not perfect, but back testing it, if you trade within a certain time frame, that's the one thing that I will say, that this strategy, you have to be, you know, within, let's say, the earliest 7:30 a.m. to about noon. Outside of those time frames, the win percentage of this strategy goes down. But inside of that time frame, it's a pretty good win ratio. And on certain days, it yields very, very well. Very well. Okay, so what's happening here is we're about 12 minutes away from this 4 hour candle closing. I know you guys can't see it, but we came up, we tested the 200-day moving average on the 4 hour chart, and now we're getting a rejection. And this is a decent rejection here off of, you know, off of the 200-day. But you see, here's the thing now, right? I can't, unless I'm gonna scalp something, and I don't know how quick this is gonna move, so it wouldn't even be worth me doing it. I can't get into a trade right now because we're 12 minutes away from, or 10 minutes away from when I need to be out of the market for the news. So there is, you know, there is downsides, but the thing is any prop firm that you go to, they have rules, and a lot of times the rules are the same, but then they have these little specific rules for each one too. You just got to find the one that, you know, you can deal with, you know. So I'm okay actually with this, because this is looking like you're either getting ready for the news, they know something we don't know, you know, this might be a little reversal here, or we're just taking a little retracement, taking a little break for the news. And if I look here, the spread between the moving average and the super trend is not that big. So if this does come all the way back down and closes below both of these, I'll have a decent, well, depends. I guess it depends on how quickly this falls. I would need the moving average to come up a little bit more, because my stop loss would have to be above the high here. So we'll see. It is what it is. You know, you go with it, you work around it. See, we might just be getting some consolidation here now, waiting for the news to come out. For those of you that are totally new to trading, just getting into it, if you want to know what trading is actually like, this is it. It's waiting. It's being patient. It's taking one trade a day, maybe two. But those trades are the right setups. And, if you follow your rules and wait for those trades, you will lose less. I'm not saying that you're going to win every time, because that's not correct. But if you follow your rules and you lose, there's nothing to be upset about, right? That just is what it is. That's the market. If you don't follow your rules and you lose, well, you lost because you didn't follow your rules. You should be upset about that. Pick a strategy, stick with it, follow the rules to the strategy. If you follow the rules to the strategy exactly the way that it's supposed to be, then and the market goes against you, it is what it is. That's the market. That's going to happen. You can be okay with that loss. You had discipline, though. If you're jumping around from strategy to strategy and you're stepping outside of the rules to those strategies, and then you keep losing, if you're wondering why, that's why. It's you. This requires an extreme amount of discipline and patience. It just is what it is. I did it too, 2-3 years ago when I first started doing this, I was like, let's trade. I was making, 5, 6, 10 trades a day, but ultimately my losses were way more than my gains, and it eats up your account. This week, for me, total, minus the Wednesday, because there's no trading on Wednesday, I'm down about $170, and I'm trading a $100,000 account. So, I'm okay with my loss being $170 for the week. I'm totally all right with that. Next week, depending on how the market moves and how disciplined I stay with my, and if I can get over my fears, I could make 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 grand in a week, right? So it's the good weeks that really overdo the bad weeks if you can manage your risks and keep your losses small. You don't need 100% win rate. Honestly, you don't even need a 50% win rate. If you can keep your losses very small and your wins 2-to-1 or more, but a minimum of 2-to-1, you're profitable still at 50% win rate. Flipping a coin. But then you can really narrow down your strategy and find out what works. Go back and look at what didn't work, and really hone in on those things, and then your win rate can slowly creep up. You keep your wins and losses the same, and you become more profitable. And then you can size up your account without changing anything, without changing your percentages. You're not trading more. you end up making more. So it's not about the amount of money that you're winning or losing or trading or whatever. It's about how disciplined you can be in a single strategy. That is what brings profitability. That is what I've had to learn over the past 3 years. Really over the past year. That's what I did in 2024, was focused on a single strategy, um, trading one utility, and that's it. There were times where I deviated from that. Last year, there were a couple times where I would deviate from it, and every single time, if I deviated from the plan, I lost, and I would lose big. So just by taking that aspect out of your trading, stop doing the stupid things, you'll make it, or your chances of making it increase tremendously. All right, let's go over to, we've got 3 minutes until the news comes out. 3 minutes. And I'm actually going to take a quick little break here before the news comes out. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's go news. All right. Like I said, ISM manufacturing PMI. That's the piece of news there that I cannot trade. That's the reason for not being able to trade. But then we also have ISM manufacturing prices. We have employment, new orders. So we got a couple of different things coming out for ISM manufacturing. Depending on what the news says, this might be another opportunity for me to enter long here. Maybe. All right, we got just about 40 seconds here. So at the close of this candle, the next candle will be the reaction, if any. Might not even get a reaction. So I'm gonna see how the market reacts. Let this 5-minute candle play out. Go from there. All right, ISM manufacturing PMI comes in higher than expected, almost by a full point. ISM manufacturing prices come in higher. ISM manufacturing new orders. They didn't have an expectation here, but higher than previous. And then the highest manufacturing employment is way lower than what was expected. Way lower than what was expected. So ISM manufacturing PMI higher, prices higher, employment lower. That's not really good. That's not really good. Give me 2 seconds here. I gotta turn off my vacuum. All right, so let's. That's what that is there. Prices higher, PMI higher. Yeah, and then employment way lower. That's actually a bigger miss than probably most people are expecting. So obviously, I would expect the market to kind of react a little negatively to that news, which kind of plays right into so in my mind here again, I'm still looking for shorts. So let's look for an opportunity to go short here. Doesn't mean it's going to give us one, but that's where my bias is. If the market wants to be bullish still, it will be. Started a new 4-hour candle. Yeah, we're still looking bearish on both the 1-hour and the 4-hour. Although we are close to changing directions. Who knows, maybe it will be today. So now we're testing this resistance area that we were hitting this morning is now become a support, and we are testing that support. So we shall see. So we're at the 200-day moving average again on the 4-hour. So we are testing that again. That's it. It's a waiting game. Like I said, I missed my opportunity this morning, and that could have been my opportunity for today. At the end of the day, I'm happy. If I don't make a trade today, I'm okay with it. That I would be more proud of myself for not making a trade if an opportunity doesn't present itself than I would if I made a stupid trade and won or lost. If you're getting into a trade and it's not a trade that you should be taking, it doesn't really matter whether you win or lose. It's not a good trade, and you shouldn't be reinforcing bad habits or bad trades just because you win. Little double top there. Maybe I'll get my opportunity after all. Relax. We're just waiting. I think the market's hashing out what it wants to do with that news. So the problem is, I think, anyway, in my opinion, the Fed came out, Daddy Powell came out beginning of December, lowered interest rates again by 0.25, and basically stated that they're going to pause this year in 2025. And they decreased the amount of expected cuts for 2025 down to 2, which means they may be pausing for quite some time. So when you get data out like today, where you have less employment and your manufacture and your prices for things are going up still, well, they're going to see it as, well, inflation might be coming back, and unemployment, as far as the unemployment rate and your unemployment numbers that come out, are still okay enough for them to do nothing. And the market doesn't like that. The market also hasn't really been listening to what Daddy Powell's been saying for the past couple months. And they've been pricing in a decent year for 2025, I would think. And now we're getting a little pullback. We got a huge dump on the day that Daddy Powell spoke. And we've been sitting in a downward trend since then. We did get a decent retracement to the upside after that day, a couple days afterwards, but still continuing this downtrend. There's still some uncertainty, you know. The first 100 days after Trump takes office will, I would imagine, settle a lot of the uncertainty that people have for the future. Let's see what his policies are that actually go into effect, not just what people are saying about his policies or whatever. Let's see what he actually does, and we'll go from there. Then the market should settle down a little bit and pick a direction, whether it's going to be up or down. Hopefully it's not sideways. So we got a little double top here. So now I'm waiting for it to activate my strategy, which I needed to close below the super trend and the moving average. And then I can look at getting in short. It's going to be a wide stop though, which is fine. We got a lot of room to come down. So let's see here. If I set my risk back to 1%, set my stop loss above the high here. Just leave a little room. If I take my trade probably somewhere around here, put my take profit back down at these lows. Probably go even lower than that, but just for probably at least a 2-to-1 if we get down there. If I get in here, close. Let's see. If we close below the moving average, it should be right at this support-ish area. Yeah, not even a 2-to-1. See, if I take it at the break of the low here, then I'll get a 2-to-1. But that's not following my strategy to 100%, unless that moving average moves up by then. Still getting a little support here, so. Question is, am I looking at this the right way? Should I be thinking longs here? Might give me a better entry because my stop would be here instead. That would for sure give me a 2-to-1. It's just a lot of downside. And looking on the 4-hour chart, it's rejection after rejection after rejection in this area right here. So again, my bias is short, so I should be sticking to looking for shorts unless we break out of this structure here. So we again, we got a strong rejection off the 200-day moving average on the 4-hour. We came back up, we retested, we got a strong rejection again. Yeah, it's not a long trade. That's not for me anyway. We'd have to break through here with a decent breakout. I'd have to wait for a retest. by then, I might be done trading for the day. So I'm gonna continue looking for shorts. Because really that's where the RR is. I keep getting rejected here, so if I was going to go long, like this is where my TP would be. So if you look at where we are now, what your upside is versus what your downside is, even if you come down here, which is the lows of the day, you still have more downside than you do upside. And you're continuously getting rejected in this area, and you were all day yesterday also. So the more times we come up and test this and get rejected, the stronger that resistance becomes. So the risk to reward here is not in the longs. That's for sure. My opinion. Look for reasons not to take a trade. And if there are plenty of them, don't take a trade. So there we go. This is a good reaction here. This is what I want to see. So let's see if we break and close below my super trend here. Again, it's such a wide stop, which, I mean, whatever. It gives me room for volatility, but we're not getting a 2-to-1 unless I come down to where the trend. Let's just see if we go back to the 15. Yeah. It's better than the upside, I'll tell you that. Getting a good. Let's see if we can get some consolidation here to get this moving average to come up a little bit more, to get a little bit of a better entry, unless this is not going to do it. So now we're respecting the moving average. This is it, is going back and forth. That's what we're doing. But we could get a pretty decent down push here. That's the thing. We could make this this trade quickly. We're getting some support here. What would be real crappy is if we just consolidate in this area here, not for the rest of the day. Yeah, then I'd be turning this all off and peacing out for the weekend. Mm-hmm. Call from Gene Osborne. Who's that? I don't know you. good push, good push. Okay. Like that. Volume is stepping up slowly, but it's stepping up to the downside here. I like it. Let's see if we can get a little retracement to try to get a better stop loss area. So right now I got a, what is it, a 1.5 to 1? Meh. Meh. Let's see where we close here. What we got going on here? Coming back and respecting the moving average. I mean, this is a close 2 to 1 here. I'm going to take this trade. We broke. I know we're retracing here now, but it's a risky trade. This gives me a 2 to 1 here. We broke previous lows. We're still looking bearish in the larger time frames. Reasons not to take this trade. We haven't closed this candle yet. I mean, that's probably really it. I mean, if this candle closes below the EMA, then it's a trade. For me, anyway, my strategy. I really don't like that. I don't like that at all. But we're in it now, so we're going to let it play out. See if we can get a nice run to the downside. Let's see what the 1 hour chart looks like. Yeah, let's see. Let's let it play out. It's not an A plus plus setup, but I have room. If it breaks the highs, then that definitely invalidates the trade. So it is what it is. So we'll just let it play out and see how it goes. Mm-hmm. 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 If we break below low of the day, I'll move my stop loss to break even. Otherwise, I'll leave it right where it's at until then. Be nice if we get a good strong push to the downside. Be nice. That's nice. I like that. I like it a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, don't do that. I like to try to do other things once I'm in a trade so that I don't focus too much on the trade. Just let it play out. Let's see. Okay, very good. we're getting support. Moving average there. Play it out. Play it out. Let it go. All right. There's the boy crying. Go about my day, getting things done, waiting for my trade to play out. Will it, or will I get stopped? That is the question. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't look good. I might have gotten a little overzealous here and gotten in too early. January 23rd. Nice. crapola. Forgot to do something because I forgot today was Friday. You know, it'd be nice. Anybody that has some decent experience trading, and when I mean decent, I mean maybe if you're already profitable and you might be watching this for some strange reason, um, leave in the comments below what you thought about this trade here. What are your thoughts? And be brutally honest with me. I'd like to hear it. Help me improve, if you will. Forgot it. My wife is sending me trip information. That's very cheap. Interesting. So I can already say to myself that I got into this trade too early. One, I did not wait for that candle to close. That's mistake number one. Well, I mean, that's the mistake right there, is I didn't wait for that candle to close, which it would have allowed for one of two things here. Either this is going to retrace and I wouldn't have got in, or I could have gotten in at a better position, which would have given me a better RR. Definitely not my best trade. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah, it's not looking promising here. Not looking promising. So I'm going to journal this trade here real quick, hang out here for a couple more minutes with you guys, and then I will head off and let this trade play out. You lose it or you win it. Right now it looks like I'm going to lose it. No. Mm-hmm. By the way, again, I should be doing this at the beginning of the live stream, but if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, help me out, let me reach some other people. Really just for either helping brand newies or me growing as a trader, getting some aspects and some constructive criticism from everybody else. Follow me in my socials. I'm on Instagram as well as TikTok. If you guys follow me there, I'll let you know how this trade goes later. And yeah, check out the links in the description down below for the platforms that I use, for who I'm using for prop firm. I have a free guide in there as well for brand new traders if you're looking for information on how to get into this. That guide has everything you need to know in it, and then some. So check that stuff out. Again, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and yeah, I appreciate your support. All right, guys. So I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna finish journaling this trade. I'm gonna let it play out, see what happens, and again, follow me on my socials, and I'll let you know how this trade went, good or bad. All right. See you all next time. Have a good weekend.